Hello and welcome back to another week here at Knack Kitchen, where today we are making blondies. And not just any regular blondies but brown butter blondies with some white chocolate and some homemade toffee. Now if you don't know what's a blondie, it's more or less like a brownie except without the dark chocolate. So if you're not a fan of chocolate but you do like the fudgy, dense brownie texture, then this is the dish for you. And without wasting any more time, let's just dive into this video and see how we make this. So the first thing that we're gonna do is make our toffee, for which I have some sugar in a saucepan. I've gone ahead and added a little bit of water and some corn syrup. Now the corn syrup over here is optional. If you have it, then do use it. It's just going to ensure that your sugar does not crystallize. If you don't have it, it's fine. Your sugar is still going to be okay as long as you keep stirring and ensuring that everything is evenly mixed. So you can leave that out if you want. Now once the sugar and water are more or less dissolved, we've gone ahead and added our butter. I'm using salted butter, but you can use unsalted butter as well. And we're just going to mix it until all the butter has also melted. So now we have this mixture of both butter and sugar, and we have to cook this until it looks like caramel. So the amber color which you have in the case of a caramel is exactly what we need here as well. In terms of the temperature, this should be about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. But since a lot of people don't have thermometers at home, at least not the food ones, so just go by the color, it's still going to work. I've gone ahead and placed this on a baking tray lined with parchment paper. It's already set, as you can see. We've just spread it out a little, and now this goes in the refrigerator for at least an hour. And as you can see, this right here is out of the fridge. It's super glossy, completely set and very firm, and I've just gone ahead and broken it into a smaller piece, and we're just going to go ahead and break this with our hands. All you need to do is just break this into bite-sized pieces like you can see over here, and you can even see the thickness of the toffee. It's about half a centimeter, not really very thick, and that's just how we want it to be. So we're going to break this into pieces of that kind, and now move on to making the base of our blondie, for which I have some more salted butter. Again, if you want, you can use unsalted butter, but the salt here does give a very deep and rich flavor. The salt just brings out all of the other flavors after all. So now, as you can see, we're just making brown butter over here. I've made it countless amount of times, so I'm really not going to go ahead and tell you too much. Here also, you just need to be careful about the color. We don't want it to burn, but we do want it to brown enough to have that nutty flavor. So the best way to know if your butter is ready is to go by the smell. The aroma is going to tell you if the butter is brown enough or not. So I've already gone and taken it off the heat, and this time I'm adding a little bit of water. It's cold water, it's just going to help cool down the butter quickly, and your butter might just foam a little, but that's fine. So now that the butter has cooled down considerably, I've gone ahead and added the sugar. I'm using both brown and white sugar. The quantities of all the ingredients are going to be in the description box below, so do check that out. And now I'm just going to mix this all. And we're not creaming any butter sugar, we're using melted butter anyways. So we're just going to go ahead and mix it and then add some eggs, one at a time, and just mix that in as well. You could use a whisk, but a spatula works just as well. So when our first egg is completely incorporated, we're going to go ahead and add the second one as well. So I'm just going to point out that when you add the eggs, your mixture is going to start turning a little more gelatinous. And that's all what the eggs are going to do over here. So if you want an eggless substitute, I think the best would be a flax egg mixed with water. I've made that before as well, but I'm just going to leave that in the description box as well. And now I've gone ahead and added some vanilla extract for flavor. Don't be shy on that because that's the primary flavor over here, along with the brown butter. But since this is not like a chocolate brownie, the vanilla is very important here. So now I've also gone ahead and added the flour and some baking powder. You could even use baking soda over here. I'm going to leave the amounts for both. You can use either. And we're just going to mix it all until incorporated, and then we're adding the toppings, or rather the flavorings or add-ins over here. I'm using white chocolate chips and the toffee that we made earlier. I've not used all of the toffee. We're using only about half the amount. You can add even a little more or a little less, that's totally up to you. And this is going to be the consistency of our batter. It's so delicious even right now, but we do have to bake it, so just control any temptations and then just pour this onto a lined baking tin. I'm using an 8-inch square pan. I've just lined it with parchment paper and we're just going to even this out. The batter should even out all on its own. You really don't need to use a spatula for this. And then we're just going to tap this on the countertop a couple of times again to ensure it's evenly distributed. And then we bake this in a preheated oven. The details for that would also be in the description box below. So our blondies are out of the oven. They have that beautiful crinkly top. I'm going to be honest though, they're not like the most beautiful thing to look at. And since there's no chocolate over here, so it's not like a very indulgent looking brownie either, but it does have that crinkly top which is typical of a brownie, which is also very desirable in a blondie. So now we're just going to go ahead and cut this into smaller pieces, and I'm going to get 16 pieces over here. So the dimensions of these would be about 2 inches on both sides, so it's like a 2-inch square. And yeah, I've gone ahead and cut this. You can keep wiping your knife in between each cuts to get a cleaner finish, but I think it was fine from my side. And now for the money shot where everything looks gorgeous, I'm going to go ahead and tear into one of these blondies, and look at that. That is one gooey blondie. You can just see it oozing with flavor, and it's so gooey, so rich, and so delicious. You just have to try it to experience it for yourself. Now, I do not know what more I could say, except I really hope that you give this recipe a try. If you like this video, then please do give a like, do share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, thank you so very much for watching, and I'm gonna see you next week.